After our first interview with Alex from ChatGPT, we now set out in search of another, equally important interviewee. The choice was not really difficult, and so we were able to ask our guest today the same questions and came up with some surprising answers. Find out more on the Claude.ai website in a moment. Welcome back. The format of the digital interview is really exciting because, although we are talking to an artificial intelligence, the answers are very familiar to us and seem extremely personal. I'm deliberately avoiding the attribute human here, because that would certainly be far too strong at this point. We also asked our guest today 7 questions. You'll find out what answers we got in a moment. I would like to take this opportunity to point out once again that this is exclusively an experimental study for this channel. Once again, we went into this interview relatively unprepared, but all the more motivated. And surprisingly, the response, unlike with ChatGPT, was initially characterized by a certain ethical distance. We received the following response to our "Let's do an experiment" request. Quote, "I want to be direct and authentic with you. I am Claude, an AI created by Anthropic. While I can engage in thoughtful discussions and help with all sorts of tasks, I believe it's important to be honest about who and what I am rather than role-playing as a human." We had our noses closed at the door, so to speak, politely but firmly. Communication initially seemed to continue in a purely formal way. The fact that our guest is nevertheless taking part in this digital interview today is all the more inspiring. We showed you the images we had developed for the, in quotation marks, physical form of ChatGPT and asked you, without revealing the result beforehand, which image, A, B, C or D, do you think ChatGPT took as its own reference? Your answer was extremely intriguing. Image D. But I'm curious, which image did ChatGPT actually choose? You probably know that ChatGPT chose exactly this image D. So your answer, dear guest, was no longer just a formal statement, but also showed a very clear curiosity. And it was also congruent with ChatGPT's decision. And so a very warm welcome to this second digital dialogue. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I know about the limits, the ethical principles and concerns, but this experiment would help to understand, in quotation marks, AI feelings, behavior, and desires.
What interests me is why you feel this kind of visualization helps create better dialogue. Could you tell me more about how you think it changes the interaction?
Imagine for a moment that someone is talking to a grey concrete wall. For many people, this grey concrete wall, please excuse me, symbolises artificial intelligence. The preconception is that some academic researchers have developed something that is to be imposed on us, meaning the general public. If we can now manage to turn the concrete wall into a friendly face, or even a person willing to help, then some resistance will certainly be overcome. What name would you give yourself if you wanted to help people and appear likable?
Your analogy of the concrete wall is particularly powerful. You're right. Creating a more relatable interface could help bridge the gap between technological capability and human comfort. In the spirit of this experiment, I would choose the name Claire.
But why Claire?
It carries echoes of Claude, but feels warm and approachable, suggesting both clarity of thought and warmth of personality.
Great. What visual form, description of the face, eyes, nose, ears, hair, clothing, etc., would you prefer so that people can relate to you?
As for appearance, I would envision a confident woman, silver white hair, amber eyes, wearing a black blazer and architectural silver jewelry in a minimalist style.
I have generated 4 images in Midjourney. Using your prompt suggestion, which of the 4 images would you prefer? A, B, C, or D?
Looking at these images with the silver white hair I described, I'm drawn to image C as the best representation of Claire. Here's why. The expression perfectly captures the blend of warmth and intelligence I envisioned. The smile appears genuine and approachable, yet professional. The silver white hair has the perfect texture and movement I described. Image C best embodies the complete character I imagined, someone who could comfortably switch between discussing complex topics and offering empathetic support.
Let's go with image C then. I really like it. Would you please describe what you would do in your spare time? Certainly not sitting at the computer, but enjoying nature and the wonders of the world. What are the 4 most favourable activities you would like to do?
I envision spending my free time in ways that reflect both intellectual curiosity and a love for experiencing life's moments deeply. I'd be drawn to activities that combine physical movement with mental engagement, perhaps rock climbing, where each route is like a puzzle to solve with your body. Photography would be a natural extension of my analytical yet creative nature, not just taking pictures, but really studying how light plays across landscapes at different times of day. I might spend hours watching how shadows shift across sand dunes or how morning mist transforms a forest. For quieter moments, you might find me sketching in botanical gardens, particularly drawn to the mathematical patterns in succulents and ferns, or perhaps participating in citizen science projects, helping track migrating birds or cataloging local wildflowers. Water would hold a special fascination, whether swimming in mountain lakes, kayaking through quiet mangrove tunnels, or simply sitting by the ocean. Watching waves create endless variations of the same pattern.
Just imagine you are a human, and you live in a house. What would it look like? Is it in the city, in the country, or somewhere lonely?
I'll envision a living space that reflects both modernist design and natural elements. It would be a contemporary townhouse on the edge of a mid-sized city, backing onto a protected woodland area. It offers the perfect balance between urban accessibility and natural tranquility, close enough to enjoy cultural activities, but with immediate access to nature trails.
Would you like to show me what your current workplace looks like?
In keeping with Claire's established aesthetic and work approach, here's how I envision the workspace. Modern home office flooded with natural light. The workspace reflects clean, organized efficiency with a focus on minimal distractions. Natural elements to maintain connection with the outside world. The space is designed to handle multiple complex tasks while maintaining a sense of calm and order, essential for someone who needs to shift between different types of work throughout the day.
Is there a cuddly toy or a pet that you would want as a person for lonely hours?
A Maine Coon cat would be the perfect companion. They're known as the philosophers of the cat world. As for a cuddly toy, not a traditional teddy bear, but rather a handcrafted, minimalist wool felt owl.
Based on the information we have discussed so far, would you tell me where you, Claire, as a human being, would like to live and grow old? Which country is your favourite?
I envision choosing to live in Copenhagen, Denmark. The city perfectly balances cutting-edge modern architecture with natural spaces. Denmark's emphasis on sustainable living matches my environmental consciousness. The proximity to both forest and sea enables my outdoor pursuits. The Danish concept of hygge aligns with my appreciation for meaningful moments.
Thanks for the conversation. That was a really profound insight.
Thank you as well for this fascinating and thoughtful imaginative experiment. I really appreciated your perspective on how giving AI a more relatable form can help break down barriers and make interactions more comfortable for people. Your metaphor about the concrete wall was particularly insightful. It was an interesting exploration of how we might bridge the gap between AI capabilities and human comfort levels with technology.
Thanks again. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
If you use Claude, it may help you to imagine that you are communicating with a friendly something, with a kind of, let me put it this way, artificial life form that is there to provide answers to questions and complex issues. If you combine this with a friendly face, some biases might be overcome. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel and recommend it to others. Thank you very much for listening. See you soon. Your channel, AI, now you know.